What's up, race fans? Daniel, Blair, and Jim Holley of Race Day Live. This is your official post-race show. And Jim, what a night. 6 main events, 5 different winners tonight. Only Joey Savacci was only able to double up, but in that 250 division, he was on fire. We talked about it all day. The starts were going to be so important. And in all 3 main events, he put himself in great position. He's the winner.
Well, and I think you saw, with those starts, you talk about that second main event. Shane McGrath got the start there, and he was able to win that one. But starts are key in these Triple Crowns, and don't think when you go to Atlanta and Minneapolis, those guys on the East Coast are looking at that. They know how important those starts are because they were definitely important tonight.
Now, McGrath rode great all night, but in that first main event, he got a little carried away with himself, pushed the front end, went down. Ultimately, I think that's what cost him. He might have been the fastest guy tonight, but going down to main event 1, getting that 5th, that put him in a position that pretty much took him out of the overall.
Well, I think that first main event, 6 minutes plus 1 lap, that's like a heat race. Heat race, normally you have 2 of them. You got half the guys in one, you got half the guys. That one there had all 22 of the fastest guys here tonight, and they were pushing and shoving, and he knew there was an urgency. Like, I got to kind of pull the trigger. I got a bad start. I got to make something happen, and it didn't happen. It almost cost him.
Now, in the 450 division, Eli Tomac skipped Houston. He tried to ride. He wasn't able to, but 1 week later, he comes out here at Anaheim and gets the win. In main event 1, though, tough night for him. Anderson, Barsha, Roczen, all your top guys were buried, but it was Cole Seeley who got out front. Now remember, we saw the speed from him in Houston, but that start put him in great position. He pulls away, gets his first main event win of the season.
Well, and another rider that had a great start, Justin Brayton, all night, number 10, man. He was up there also, but you talk about Seeley, what a confidence booster that's going to be for him going into Glendale next weekend. He knows he can win these things, and that was a short one. But as the night wore on and you got that final 450 main event, 15 minutes plus 1 lap, you saw the cream of the crop rise to the top there. Kenny Roczen with that 4th, Justin Brayton with the 3rd, which I thought was very impressive because he's been chomping at the bit during the 20 minutes plus 1 lap. But Anderson and Tomac, they were gone, and what a great win, like you said, for Eli Tomac to come back here, in Anaheim 1 with his shoulder. But you heard him in the press conference. He said each and every day I got better and better, and I think that he actually hurt it a little bit more. I would have opted to not even go to Houston. Just sit out Houston, and he might have been better. But he said, hey, my shoulder didn't get tired, no excuses. He's back. He got 26 points tonight for that win. But Anderson's, he's a changed guy. He's taking a page out of Dungey's playbook. He says that. He goes, hey, I just want to be consistently always up on the podium, and he was up on the podium tonight.
Anderson does get the podium. He gets the final main event win of the night. But what stands out is the guys that were right there in points with him, Ken Roczen, Justin Barsha. I mean, pretty much nowhere to be found in main events 1 and 2. Main event 3 was a little bit better, but for Anderson, hey, getting on the podium, that's a huge win for him if we look at the points. He was able to pull away from his closest competitors, and he's got to look at this as a major positive tonight.
He does, and now he knows that, he's got the first one of the Triple Crown under his belt. He knows what to expect when we get down to Atlanta and Minneapolis. Marvin Musquin, I noticed he was out in that final one, so hopefully he's okay. Dean Wilson also, he was out in there. But, I want to give a shout out to Christian Craig, because I thought Christian Craig rode really well tonight to finish up 3rd and be on the podium.
I think it was the first time this year that we saw the speed from him and the consistency. I wouldn't be surprised as we go to Glendale, somewhere where he's won before, he could pull it off. But for Jim Holley and Daniel Blair and Race Day Live, this is our official post-race show. We'll see you in Glendale.